Hello and welcome to Nitty Gritty. I'm your host, Stephanie Bush, and today with me is Andrew Rapozo from the CMU Green Zone Training Program. How are you doing today, Andrew?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me here. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. We're very happy to have you.
Thank you.
So, Andrew, what drew you to CMU?
Well, I live down in Delta, and I've lived there since 2001. And after I got back from the military, it just seemed really convenient for me to be able to go there. It's still somewhat close to my family, and I knew it was a small population, so I knew it would be a good student to professor ratio. So it just kind of made sense to me.
Perfect. Whatever makes sense. So, how long have you been attending this university?
Well, this is my first semester of my senior year, so just a little over 3 years now.
Perfect. What are you studying?
I am majoring in social work.
What got you interested in participating in this program, the Green Zone program?
I was approached by Amanda Heron, the Student Veteran Services Coordinator, a couple years ago. She asked me if I'd be interested in participating in the Green Zone, told me what it was about, and I thought it'd be something great to get involved with, so I've been on board ever since.
Okay, so what kind of issues are vets currently facing in our country?
Well, a lot of the issues we're facing is mental health issues, coming down to services with the VA and application with the VA, so that way they can get their physical and mental health care. And those are some of the biggest issues. Also comes down to relationships they're having with those involved with them, such as family, friends, and coworkers, and also employment. Those are some of the biggest issues that veterans are currently facing today. And that's the reason why I got into social work, is to hopefully play my part in it and help out with that.
So those issues, you mentioned mental health and things like employment. So that dabbles, I'm sure, a lot into academics. So
Yes.
is there anything more you would have to say on how being a veteran plays into academic struggles?
Well, one thing we're instilled in the military is to be able to do everything proficiently and timely, and a lot of it is on our own. So when we come down to being in the classroom, it's a completely different environment. We're no longer around those that we lived and ate with for years. Now we're in an environment where we're around 10 years older than our peers. We have nothing really in common with them. We don't know what to talk about. We don't know how to relate to them. So it just comes down to an adjustment issue. So we don't really know what to do. We try to do our best, and sometimes we come down to struggling, and we don't know who to turn to, who to talk to. We don't know what's available around us. So we just kind of suffer in silence sometimes.
Can you tell me a little more about the Green Zone?
So the Green Zone is meant to help bridge the understanding between professors, the faculty, and veterans, because a lot of them really don't understand some of the issues we deal with, such as the mental health and also appointments with the VA, applying for disability, and also when it comes down to the GI Bill. A lot of them don't understand that because they never had to go through it, and they don't know how many people that have been through it. So it's really meant to help them understand what it's like to have to get appointments going, applying for benefits, and also coming down to use of classes. Sometimes professors are like, well, why can't you take this class? And we're like, we can't, it's not on our sheet, so the VA won't approve it. So I can't just fill that role in with a random class. And also just kind of understand our mentality of how we act in class and how we even engage or don't engage and where we sit. Sometimes it's more comfortable for us to sit by the door because we have a means of getting out of the classroom faster. And sometimes professors see it as, well, they're not very interested and they don't want to be here.
Okay.
So it's kind of helped them to understand where we're coming from.
Gotcha. So who participates in these trainings? The people that are attending and the people that are maybe leading?
So the ones that we have attending are faculty and professors, and they're the ones who deal mostly with the students themselves, just to kind of give them a little education, a little knowledge about what it is a veteran might be facing. Because sometimes, like I said, we don't exactly know where to go for help, and sometimes that professor could be the first one to see it, and they could be the one to approach that individual and saying, hey, I see you're kind of struggling, and I'm wondering what I can do to help you. And then we just want them to be able to point them in the right direction, such as Veteran Services with Amanda Heron, or even the Veterans Lounge that's in Houston Hall. We don't expect them to be an expert on all of our issues, just to be empathetic to their situation and to just maybe listen to them for a few minutes and say, you know what, I understand where you're coming from. It sounds very difficult for you. This is a person you should contact. And then those that are hosting it, such as myself, I'm a veteran, so that's the reason why I've got interested in it. And also I want to do as much as I can for my community and help them bridge that gap between professor and student. And then the ones who are coming in involved are also student veterans, the ones who've either been here for a couple of years, or one of our panel members just 5 days before she attended class, she was out of the Marine Corps and into a classroom. So I thought she'd be perfect for it. I approached her and she's going to be on our panel for the question and answer session.
Fantastic. So where can we find you on campus with these Green Zone events, and what time?
So this year we're doing it a little bit differently. Before it used to be a 2-hour session, but now we're hosting it on November 5th here in Escalante Hall at 9 a.m., 12 in the afternoon, and 4 p.m. And the 9 and 4 o'clock sessions are going to be in room 318 and the afternoon session at 319. And it's going to be 1-hour sessions each for a half-an-hour presentation and then a half-hour Q&A with our panel members.
Great. So you said usually you have a lot of faculty and professors in these. If students want to come to these meetings and trainings, are they welcome to? And
Oh, most definitely.
Okay,
Definitely.
great.
Like the more people that can come and be understanding, no, that's just the more rapport we can build with our community and with our campus. Because the more people who are interested, and the more we can branch out and hopefully help others.
Absolutely. So the students would just come to those times that you said. There's no other documentation they need to follow through with or anything?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, great. What kind of resources are available on campus for vets besides these meetings and things, the community that you've made?
Well, the biggest ones we have are the Veteran Services Office with Amanda Herron, and she also employs a few veterans in there who know a little bit more about what's available than she does, such as where there's a Veteran Center, there's a Veterans Arts Center, there's of course the VA, and those are some places where they can go to because they also another veteran to speak with, so they kind of understand where they're going to be coming from to answer some of their questions in regards to where can I get some help, where I'm kind of struggling here. And also the Veterans Lounge, because that's where a lot of our veterans go to just kind of hang out. They can go there for tutoring services because a lot of our veterans have been tutors in the past and they're in their upper division classes now. So we can go there either to just hang out, get a little feeling of what it was like to be in the military again, or you can go there to get some help with some homework because you're struggling. And also about what classes to register for and how to register for them, because that's another thing that we found out that veterans struggle with, not knowing what classes to take.
Absolutely. So is there anything else you would like to share with our audience before we wrap it up?
Say thank you for taking an interest in us. We sometimes feel that we're not really seen or understood or kind of ignored sometimes. So when we get this kind of attention, we really appreciate it, because then it lets us know that we're cared about, that people want to help us, and that it just gives us all the more reason to engage with our community and to give back what we can.
Sure. Fantastic. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us today on this episode of Nitty Gritty. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you so much, Andrew, for joining us today.
Thank you for having
We really
me.
appreciated it. I'm your host, Stephanie Bush, and I will see you on the next episode of Nitty Gritty.